Hi everybody, this is Reese Counts with Autoblog. We're here today with a 2017 BMW X5M. I've got Michael behind the camera. If you guys have any questions, type them out. He'll read them out to me and I'll do my best to answer them. This is a big, way overpowered all-wheel drive SUV. It's got a 4.4 liter V8 going through an 8-speed automatic. It makes about 560 horsepower, 550 pound-feet of torque. At the time, I think it was the most powerful M car. The new BMW M5 has now exceeded that, but you know, still pretty great. We're gonna do a quick walk around before we go drive it. We're feeling some rain out here, so just a quick glance. This is a really, really pretty shade of blue. It's got all the M stuff, the M wheels. It's got the quad exhaust tips with the lower air dam, and of course the requisite M badge up top. This one's lowered a little compared to like the standard model. You know, it looks the business. It's not, I think it's a handsome little SUV, but, well, not little, but it may not be for everybody. But let me fire it up and we'll go take a ride. So, as you can see in here, it's got the typical M instrument cluster with the white gauges, or the white lettering, the M steering wheel with the M1 and M2 settings. It's got carbon fiber trim on the dash, which it looks like real carbon fiber. I don't like the fake stuff, but in a car like this, it works fine. Alcantara headliner, and it's got tan seating, which I really like red leather. I would have gone with red leather, especially with this blue, but you know, it's a little brash and not for everybody. So, right now we're in, when you turn it on, it's the key up setting is efficient engine, comfort suspension, and comfort steering. Because in my typical cruising, I always change it to Sport Plus, but leave it in comfort suspension because we're never going to take this thing to a track. But I like the Sport Plus steering just to get a little feedback. Exiting through a neighborhood right now, we've got a little bit of construction, but I'm going to turn off the auto stop start because, well, this is a pretty good system. It's kind of annoying. So this thing will do on a track 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, which is just stupid fast for a vehicle like this. Until I drove one, like an X5M or one of the AMG SUVs, I didn't get why anybody bought them. I was like, you're never going to take this thing to a track. Why would you get an SUV with that much power? You're wasting money. Then I drove one. I'm like, every SUV needs a V8 like this. We're gonna gun it real quick. The shifts are pretty quick. It's still a traditional torque converter, so it's not as fast as a dual clutch, but it's got a lot of mass to move around. But 560 horsepower is nothing to scoff at. Steering is in Sport Plus is heavy. It's got good tires on here. They're Michelin Pilot Sports. I think 285s up front and 335s up back, which are really wide. But feedback is, it's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. BMW electronic power steering is some of the best, but this is still a nearly 3-ton SUV.
Someone's asking what the mileage is.
On this one, it's probably rated something like 13 city, 18 highway with a combined 15. I don't know for sure. Maybe when we stop, we can pull out the Maserati.
And someone asked about the V8.
4.4 liters, 563 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque, twin turbos. I don't know if it's the exact same engine that's in the M5. I know the power rating's a little different, but it's essentially, it's pretty close to what's in the M5. And I think the M5 is like 560 horsepower and 500 pound-feet. So this has got a good bit more torque. I mean, it is an SUV, and I don't think this one's got a tow hitch. I don't know. That's probably really terrible for towing. But, yeah, twin turbos. I think this one's got the hot V, which means the turbos are in the center of the. You reverse the intake and exhaust. It means like 6 of turbos in the center of the engine valley. It's because there's shorter travel between the turbo spool or the turbo output and the intake. There's less turbo lag. It's a lot of Germans are doing it. I know Mercedes does it. And they call it a hot V. It's just kind of reversing the intake and exhaust. I popped the hood on here to check to see if it was worth showing you guys, and it's not. Like so many modern cars, it's a big black engine cover under there, which is unfortunate because some of the other M cars, we had an M3 a few weeks ago, and that one actually looked pretty cool under the hood. There was a big carbon fiber cross member, but this is not a sports car. It's an SUV that handles better than a lot of other SUVs with a big engine. It looks good, I think. It sounds really great. It's got a lot of features. It's expensive. I don't think I've mentioned the price on this. So, base price is $98,000. This one has driver convenience option. I think there's a package with like surround view camera and rear view camera and whatnot. This one is about $109,000, which it's a lot of money. This may be a dual clutch. It's acting like a dual clutch.
And the interior holds pretty true to BMW's in.
Sorry, what was that?
No, let's keep going.
It's quick.
It is, yeah. You can feel that V8.
We've got these. Let's turn these down just a hair. It's a little warm in here. Yeah, you can. This thing. Brakes are pretty good on this. They're. I don't know the exact spec on the rotors, but they're probably more than 15 inches, which is about the size of my forearm. When you're moving around that much mass, you really need some like grippy brakes and sticky tires. This is, I think I mentioned it before, but this is equipped with Michelin Pilot Super Sports. Really, really good tires. Kind of unnecessary for an SUV. It's one of those things where like, they run flats, so the ride's a little stiffer. They're fine. They're really good tires on a sports car. But you're never going to take this thing to a track. If you do, more power to you. But the reason I keep it in comfort setting is because all I care about in this car is going really fast, in a straight line. It's got all the power, but I still want the ride to be soft. I want the steering to be good, but like not overly like heavy. And that's why I keep it the way I do. If you look over here, all the M steering wheels have the M1 and M2. If you hold down, you can do a preset, because whenever you start the car, it resets to efficiency engine and comfort, the rest of it. So you set your preset with the M1, so as soon as you get in, you just hit the M1 button, all your settings go back. I wish it would just like stay like memory, but it doesn't. But the M buttons make it a little easier. But there's two, so maybe you can, if you wanted to, you can do super stiff suspension in one setting and comfort in the other for the days you take your 3-ton SUV on a curvy road.
This is not the iDrive, correct? Not the iDrive system?
No. This is, well, yes, it's got the iDrive infotainment, but like, it's not an electric car. No electrification, no hybrid or anything. Yeah, traditional, like, it's forced induction, but gasoline V8, terrible gas mileage. It's just, think of this as like a big station wagon, like with an overpowered engine. In that way, it's kind of like the BMW doesn't have an equal to the E63, so maybe there's some cross shopping there, but I think this is kind of its own crowd. This is for the people that want the biggest and most expensive BMW SUV they can get, or they just have an M3 and they want another M car. We're gonna slow down here real quick. Like I said, good brakes. Somebody was asking about the fuel economy. Let's see if we can get in here real quick.
Someone also asked, what county in New Jersey is this from?
I think BMW North America is headquartered outside of New York. All right, so this one is rated 14 city, 19 highway, 16 combined. So I was pretty close with 13, 18, 15. Yeah, so all the press cars that we get in, most of them are have plates from the corporate headquarters. A lot of the Japanese manufacturers are all California. BMW, Land Rover, Jaguar Land Rover, Ferrari, those all have Jersey plates. Mercedes-Benz is Georgia. That's not always the case. Subaru, for some reason, comes in on Illinois plates. We've got a Porsche that here gets California plates, but I think in California, Porsches get Florida plates. It's a weird thing. It's because all the cars are owned by the manufacturers, they just register them at their home base. All the Americans have Michigan plates. Audi and Volkswagen are Michigan. This is all inside baseball, useless knowledge that because I manage the press fleet and I schedule all the cars, I see everything and check everything that comes in.
Someone asked to lower the steering wheel.
Lower the heights?
Wasn't very specific, but Brian will try to help you out.
Do you want to see the gauge? Is that
maybe
what it is?
Yeah.
Right. That's about as low as the steering wheel's going to go.
And Sergio, I'm sitting as far away as I can. I'm in the passenger seat here. So not intentionally close to Reese, but close enough that we can get his voice clear.
Yeah, I hope you guys can hear me okay. If not, say something in the comments and we'll try to adjust it.
Gavin's asking us to do a backflip.
I don't know if there's a ramp around here to do it.
To be honest, I'm hoping we could maybe get a barrel roll in. It seems to be trending right now.
It's not a Jaguar. That's the thing. The Jaguar E-Pace, I mean, BMW, there's a new X5 on the way. I think we leaked the spy shots. This thing's getting a little up there in age. It was refreshed, I think, for 2016 or 17. So there are a few new things, new styling. I think an updated engine, but this current X5 came out in 2010. It was an 11 model year, so for automobile terms, it's getting pretty old.
Alright, if you can launch it one more time, people are asking to see that.
Alright, I'll see if I can.
See if we get a straightaway, yeah.
If we go back up Woodward a little, we may clear out. So the new one, expect updated styling to be more in line with the rest of BMW, which is, of course, just another iteration of what they've been doing for the past 15 years or so. It's probably going to have 600 horsepower. It's probably going to share the powertrain with the new M5, which has got an 8-speed torque converter automatic because the dual clutch can handle all the power. It's got 600 horsepower from I think it's still a 4.4 liter V8 twin turbos. Yeah, it's gonna be bigger, better, more efficient than ever. It's still gonna be a several several ton SUV that's, you know, not going to handle well for an SUV, which is quite a qualifier. I may sound like I'm being a little down on it. I love this thing. I think it's just bonkers. Like, no SUV needs this much power. No car needs this much power. There's like no rational reason to buy this over like even like a 35i or probably 40i now. Nobody needs the power. So this is like an emotional purchase. You want the big V8. You want the sound. You want the styling. And I'm all for that. You probably can't get this blue, and if I was buying an X5M, I would probably get this shade of blue. I like the tan interior. Like I said, I would get a red one because I like BMW's red leather, but, you know, I think we may get a clearing for the launch. I'm going to turn it around right here and do it in front of the Mercedes-Benz dealer just to...
Ooh, shots fired.
Show it off.
Gavin is asking about the engine again.
4.4 liter V8, twin turbo V8, 563 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed transmission with, I'm going to wait till the light goes, 8-speed transmission, all-wheel drive. This one's got super sticky Michelin Pilot Sports, I think 2... too fast on these public roads, but trust me, this thing will...
That's that boost.
It will pull. Yeah, turbo lag's pretty good on the, like, pretty minimal on this, I think is what I'm trying to say. You know, there's a little, it's dead, but, like, it really picks up below, I don't know, about 1,500, 1,800 RPM, which is fine. Great for a turbo car. And this one revs to like 7,000 RPM, which is once again unnecessary but fantastic for an SUV. I think maybe we can go park and do another quick walk around if you guys have any more questions.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we are in Michigan. That's where we're headquartered, Autoblog, and we are currently driving on the famous Woodward Avenue.
Yes, we are. Our office is just north of Detroit proper, right along Woodward. Which makes it really convenient to do this because Woodward's 4 lanes in either direction right up here, so we can kind of cruise and turn around. There's some good spots to pull off, but speed limit's high enough to, you know, kind of have some fun without getting in too much trouble. Traffic is clear.
All right. It's got the M shifter too.
Yes, it's kind of a... So, I'm actually not a big fan of the shifter. You put it over in sports, there's not a park on it, which annoys me. When we're pretty close to parking, I'll show you. As far as I'm aware, the only method to park this thing. But it's got paddle shifters on the steering wheel, which is not... They work pretty well. I haven't been using them today, but put it back over and drive. But yeah, I like the M steering wheel. I think this one's slightly bigger diameter than some of the other M cars. It feels a little bigger. But it's meaty, the leather's good. It's got awesome M's colored stitching on here. This is our favorite little spot to do walk arounds. So Alright, so parking. You pull the electronic parking brake, put it in neutral, and then turn the car off, and that just puts it in park. It automatically knows it's in neutral and stopped.
Do a little bit quick walk around here for anyone who's joining us a little bit later.
So I will pop the hood, even though there's not much to see under here. I think it's hot. You can still hear the fans going, but you know, as we all love to hate black plastic, but it's, you know, without this, temperature wouldn't be right. It's been a lot for FVH, you know, a lot quieter. For those that tuned in later, we can see this lovely, lovely shade of blue. It's got all the typical M styling points, the big lower intakes. Up here you can see the cameras, and I think that's the radar for the automatic cruise control. LED fog lights, LED headlights. Now that's a big tire. Up front it's 285/35 ZR21s. It's Michelin Pilot Super Sports. They're a very, very good tire. Out back, real quick up front. These are some of the meatiest brakes I've ever seen in a car. I mean, that caliper alone is probably close to a foot if it's not. Those rotors, they look like they're two-piece. I'd have to get under there and check, but it looks like we've got 6-piston fixed calipers up front. You can always tell fixed because there's the bleeder brake on the front of the caliper. Fixed are better than sliding. I mean, there's nothing terribly wrong with sliding, but for a performance application, you want fixed. Out back, we've got 325/30 ZR21s. It's a really, really fat tire, but when you're moving this much weight and that much power, you want a lot of rubber. So yes, as you mentioned earlier, the Jersey plate for all the BMWs that come through have New Jersey plates. Quad exhaust, lower air intake. It's, you know, they M5'd, did all the M touches for the X5M. You guys have any more questions?
Doesn't look like, how's that pulling power feel?
Feels good.
Kind of been talking about that, yeah.
Not much turbo lag, so, and there's a lot of torque, 553 pound-feet. And because it's a BMW, they've artificially created a flat torque curve. So it goes up, I'll do it in your direction, goes up and then flat lines, and just peak torque for probably 3/4 of the rev range until horsepower comes on. So it really pulls, and it pulls at nearly any RPM and nearly any gear.
Ted says the blue is nice. We love this blue as well, Ted.
Yeah, it's a really good shot. So, real quick, totally, this is not M part, but this is just a BMW. Split folding tailgate. I love these. So it's got that. But what I love about it is you can put stuff in here and nothing will roll out. This is just one of those little things. It's all the BMW X5s have them, but we've got it here, and I want to point it out.
Want to rev that engine one more time?
Yeah.
All right. We'll do a quick rev, and we'll end it up.
Thanks for watching. This has been Reese Counts with a 2017 BMW X5M for Autoblog.